midst of the polycrisis that imperil peace, humanity, and the living planet. The recommendation on education for peace, human rights, and sustainable development suggests that knowledge and learning offer pathways for renewal and transformation, and shape how we learn to live with each other and the planet.
Education is a mirror of the society, and on one hand, people say that education can reproduce the existing social problems, but everything has to again start from education so that the future society really fulfill what we expect.
However, education faces challenges such as policy alignment, outdated curriculum, teacher training gaps, assessment skills, and budget constraints. How are Asia-Pacific education systems then preparing learners to innovate and shape a peaceful, sustainable society?
In 2023, 194 countries adopted the recommendation on education for peace, human rights, and sustainable development. This recommendation actually shows how to turn the vision of transformative education into reality. The recommendation's beauty lies in its inclusivity, blend of vision and practicality, and its holistic approach.
In vibrant Bangkok, UNESCO and partners convened the regional policy dialogue and launch of the Recommendation on Education for Peace, Human Rights, and Sustainable Development in Asia-Pacific from 5 to 7 June 2024.
For us, this has been an incredibly important opportunity to see how a global recommendation that's been adopted by 194 member states of UNESCO translates into a regionally owned and implemented recommendation. It's non-binding, but what's been exciting for us is to see how much interest and ownership there is here in the Asia-Pacific region.
I urge each participant, all of you here, to champion the recommendation and prioritize education as a catalyst for transformation towards peaceful, just, and inclusive societies.
This roadmap will encourage and inspire not only education policymakers, but more importantly, teachers, educators, community actors on the ground to step up their efforts.
In fact, it's at the heart of many of the conflicts that are going on in the world at the moment. We can't create the same old roadmap if we really want to shift and transform what we need to do to create a greater sense of peace and stability. It doesn't make sense. Why would we? Can't keep doing the same old things and expect a different outcome. So let's reconceptualize what a roadmap must look like.
And we will come up with a roadmap. It will be quite important for us to think about the challenges and probably come up with the ideas, general ones, that we all can realize in our countries.
What are the implications to implement the recommendation in the culturally rich and diverse Asia-Pacific?
So the new recommendation is quite key to have intergenerational engagement when we're looking for policy-level engagement in this new recommendation for the purposes of country-based action.
It's important to achieve gender equality and education because what we have achieved so far is only parity and not equality. Equality means that there is equal representation of teachers, but also at the same time that their issues are reflected in materials, education materials. There's no gender bias, there's no gender discrimination that is also embedded in those materials.
So I think we can have a lot of awareness and consequentially human rights will be strengthened by introducing it into the curricula and pedagogy.
With the child in the center, all stakeholders in education need to come together, work together. What the government is trying to do needs to synergize with what the civil society is trying to do, what parents want, what the religious communities want. When this comes together, we can transform education.
where is my reach? Where do I have influence and where have I built relationships? And that's with my teachers and my students. And so what would be the focus going forward for Niue? And for us, it's our children, because I really want to nurture our children so that they have a strong sense of self and identity and belonging in our village, in our island, in our region, and in the world.
By including culture and arts into educational system, we can not only make the education content more contextually relevant, enriched by diverse ways of knowledge, but also foster creativity, critical thinking, and social and emotional learning.
Are we ready to transform education? First, let's define transformative learning in our context. Second, about time we renew textbooks to inspire minds. Third, teachers matter and need transformative training. And let us embed and measure in assessments what matters. Finally, communities and youth can help build lasting peace and solidarity.
To find out more about the recommendation and other UNESCO initiatives, go to www.unesco.org.